Welcome to Today at Keeneland for a big card of racing for this Friday, April 9th. It is Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile Day, Gabby Gaudet, and a very deep field, just about every one of these races here today. A challenging card. I'd say the most challenging card that we've come across so far. And for those joining us, welcome here to Today at Keeneland. For those unable to come, I think these are the days that you're glad that you're probably still working from home.
Yeah. Why?
Because it's a Friday. It's a work day, right?
Oh, yeah,
sure.
sure.
You know, if you can't come up to Keeneland.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was
watch
a
the
little
races.
slow.
Yeah. This is a giant day.
This is a giant day, and it's also perfect weather today, Scott. I know we had a little bit of rain yesterday. We might have some rain tomorrow, so this is the day that you really, really want to participate. And I agree with you in terms of the competition of the card. The Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile, I thought, was a really impossible race. So looking forward to that later today. And there's also a lot of other things going on. It happens to be College Scholarship Day as well, presented by Lane's End.
$35,000 worth of scholarships and prizes will be handed out over the course of the afternoon for College Scholarship Day, presented by Lane's End. And students can register at Keeneland.com. So head over there and do that if you haven't already. Also, today we've got this. How about this Toyota Super High Five Jackpot carryover? I mean, are there a race or two today that maybe it can be hit, be that single ticket? It's up to $69,000.
There might be. I think it's a challenging wager, and some of the races today are challenging, of course, for the Super High Five. But who knows? It very well could go down today. We'll see.
We had a great day of racing yesterday, a 9-race card, and Luis Saez continues his assault here in Central Kentucky. He had 3 wins yesterday, and in the featured race, one of the biggest prices we've seen so far this meet. Jimmy Graham always smiles. He won the 2-year-old race for John Ennis, but it was Fighting Seabee able to save ground and come through with the victory in a tough featured race yesterday.
Fighting Seabee really changed everything with regard to the late pick 4, pick 5 sequences. I think it wound up winning at 18-1 under Brian Hernandez and trainer Kenny McPeak. So, yeah, that really changed things up in the latter half of the card yesterday. And even the trifectas paid really nicely in that race. And I have a feeling we're going to have some prices this afternoon as well.
Look forward to diving into this card. Before we do that, let's go to WKYT for the latest on this afternoon's weather.
We are going to be tracking another warmer day out at the track. Temperatures probably jumping close to 80 degrees out there. A little wind, too. So once again, that becomes a factor. Started getting a little breezy out there yesterday as some of the showers and storms approach the region. Again, today, gusty numbers getting well into the mid and upper 70s out there with plenty of sunshine for you. So overall, the drier conditions track should be, of course, cleaned up by now with all the crews out there working to get it straightened out. You all have a great day at the track and win something good for me. Or for you.
We will give it the old college try, pun intended, Gabby Gaudet, here on College Scholarship Day, presented by Lane's End Farm. But if you're coming out this way, bring the sunscreen or the sun cream, as the folks call it in the UK.
Parasol.
That's right, you got the parasol, exactly. You lost our umbrellas from a couple of years ago, so
You're still on that.
You have yet to replace those. That is truth. She took them home.
Another thing to add to the list,
and they've just disappeared. Graphic for today's card, presented by TVG. As far as our full card picks, I read right off the rundown. That was an amateur move on my part, Gabby. And once again, we agree in the last 2, and the 6th and the 5th.
Yep, just 4 races we agree on. We do agree in race 9, our featured race, the Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile, at least with regard to the top selection. It's a really interesting race, so looking forward to chatting about that here shortly.
Full card picks presented by TVG. If you want these picks, and we know you do, download the Keeneland Race Day app. You can have access to Gabby and mine's picks each and every race day, as well as a host of many other top handicappers with write-ups on each and every race, each and every day. Again, that's the Keeneland Race Day app. It is available on your iPhone, your Android, your iPad, your tablet, whatever you've got. And give us a follow on social, on Twitter, at Keeneland Racing, at Keeneland on Facebook. Some great stuff. They have done a great job this meet. I can't tell you how many people I've had come to me and say, who's running the social media content? Is it Gabby Gaudet? I said, no.
Not I.
She doesn't have the time, and she can barely walk around these days because she's got a walking boot on, and that's serious. If you get a chance to come across Gabby, make sure you ask her how she injured herself here in these days because she hasn't fielded that question enough. But really,
I'm going to wear a sign. I'm going to start wearing a sign.
Put it on your back. I broke my foot doing yoga, and then be done with it.
I didn't. I'm still trying to come up with a better story, Scott. Thanks for throwing me under the bus.
Hey, it's the truth. We only speak the truth here. But again, the social media content has been fabulous. The pictures and the videos, great job to the team here at Keeneland. He's done a fabulous job this meet, and it is being recognized. I promise you that for sure. So make sure you give us a follow on social media and those various outlets. All right, the featured event of the afternoon, race number 9. It's the Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile Stakes. $300,000 on the line, and this marks the 25th running of the Maker's Mark Mile.
There have been some tremendous horses who have won this race or really just have run in this race before in the past, and this lineup is pretty incredible. Of course, the favorite, Lukewarm, is at 7-2. The 8, Raging Bull, last time we saw him was in the Breeders' Cup Mile, but a good runner-up performance in the Grade 1 Shadwell Turf Mile right here at Keeneland last fall.
You and I agree. In this race, I'm going with Durain, the number 5 horse, who is 8-1 on the morning line. I don't know that you'll get that. Maybe you do, just because of the depth of this field as Brad Cox seeks his first win in the Maker's Mark Mile. But this is a colt by Dubawi, who is owned in part by Qatar Racing Limited and Watership Down, who started off his career running in some tough races. I mean, his last 2 starts in Europe, in Great Britain, were in the Great Voltiger Stakes and the Darley Stakes at York and Newmarket, respectively. His first start in the United States was a good effort. He was the favorite, and he was beaten by a horse by the name of Two Emmys. Two Emmys is a Hugh Robertson horse who has really turned into a nice turf runner. He was recently second to Colonel Liam in the Mervyn Muniz just a couple weeks ago on Louisiana Derby weekend. That was on the 20th of March. So you've got to respect that race. Don't hold it against him, because Two Emmys is a nice horse. But his follow-up race is where we're going to take you on March 6th at the fairgrounds against Entry Level Allowance Company. He makes this big, long move from off the pace. You can see how into the bridle he is with Sean Bridgemahan in the saddle. And he's going to be able to kick clear here by 2 lengths. He's still waiting for room, and finally when he gets it, he picks it up and displays a nice turn of foot. He looks like a big colt. Look forward to seeing him in the flesh. But for them to opt to go in this direction, I think just goes to show you what they expect from him moving forward in this division. And I like Raging Bull, but he's one of these horses, and I think we always seem to come across horses like this, or maybe it's trainers or jockeys, and it starts to get into your mind. Every time I like him, he doesn't show up, Gabby. And that's why I have a hard time expecting him to show up here today. And I'm probably wrong for leaving him out of the top 3, but I'm doing it here in this spot. I think Hit the Road has just been so well managed by Dan Blacker and his team. They've been so patient with this horse. The owners have allowed them to be patient with him, allow him to grow up, and now they've got a Grade 1 winner on their hand and one of the favorites for one of the premier turf mile races in the world, the Maker's Mark Mile. He's the second selection. And Field Pass on the outside, he's a colt that has really been developed nicely by Mike Maker. He was the winner of the Jeff Ruby Stakes in 2020. He won the Transylvania here at Keeneland during the summer meet, the Kentucky Utilities Transylvania, winner of the Ontario Derby, and he was 4th, beaten only a length and a quarter to Smooth Like Straight, who almost beat Hit the Road in the Grade 1 Kilroe last time out. So that was a strong effort from him. Rosario, he'll get it done if he has the right horse and the right trip underneath him, and he'll find that right trip. So you've got to respect Field Pass. But Durain is the one for me.
All right, you and I agree. I was actually really surprised that you and I agreed on this horse. Now, I liked him not only because of his 2 stateside races. His last race was incredible, and he also did have some trouble, not only in the part that we showed you in the backtrack in the rerun there, but also early. He was squeezed back to last, and then he just looked like he was so loaded that he was about to run over horses coming down the stretch. He just looked like an absolute freight train, and that was at 1 1/8 miles. I do think that, or 16th, I should say, when you look at horses that close like that at 1 1/16 miles, Scott, I think that they're even better cutting back to 1 mile. A lot of the times you don't see horses at 1 1/8 miles, 1 1/16 miles with that type of acceleration, that type of turn of foot. So I think it could be even more potent, more dangerous cutting back to the mile. And if that's the case, he's going to be very dangerous in here. Now, outside of him, I respect Raging Bull a little bit more than you do, Scott. But I hear you. Sometimes he's been disappointing. He did win the Shoemaker Mile last May at Santa Anita. He's a quality grade 1 winner, but he does need that right type of trip. He's going to be closing from off of it. So I'll respect him. I think other horses in here that are interesting outside of the 2 Hit the Road, he's the obvious contender. But some like it Hot Brown. This was a horse that I didn't really know what to do with. I'll include him in the late pick 4, Scott, because he just kind of goes in and out of form. I really don't know what distance is best, but he actually has run one of the fastest races in his past performances. So this is a really interesting field. I could talk about it for 10 more minutes, but we don't have time.
We don't. Let's move on to Tom Leach, who had a chance to catch up with Florent Giroux.
Florent Giroux is aboard Hit the Road, 2-1 in the Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile. Tell me about the last race out at Santa Anita.
It was a great race, actually. The horse performed very well. We drew a good post. And from there, it was a nice stocking trip and got through on the inside, and the horse did the rest.
Looked like you had a ton of horse turning for home, and when a seam opened up, he just exploded.
Yeah, exactly. It was a little tight, down the rail, but the horse cooperated very well. Sometimes horses are a little bit, relentless, going through a horse like this, but he was all professional, and I was very proud of him.
Was that the kind of race where you immediately go to your agent and say, get me back on that horse?
Yeah, no, for sure. He's when all the time you win a Grade 1, on this kind of horses, you want to make sure you have the opportunity of riding those horses back. And especially this year, having the Breeders' Cup, back over there at Del Mar, I think horses on the West Coast have a big advantage. The turf course is very different. I'm just hoping, he can perform well, on the Keeneland course tomorrow.
Good luck.
Thank you.
That was a situation where Florent, he got the mount because Umberto Rispoli was in a good spot. He had to choose between the 2 favorites for the Kill Row, Smooth Like Straight and Hit the Road. They went with Smooth Like Straight. Hey, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. There was no wrong choice to be made there, but now Florent has himself in a good spot, I would imagine, for the rest of the year on Hit the Road as he gets set for his 2nd consecutive Grade 1 test. Let's back it up to race number 7. Another feature race this afternoon. It's the TVG Limestone Turf Sprint Stakes for straight 3-year-old fillies going 5.5. A couple of scratches and a big one on the outside, Nimbo Stratus, who is going to be coming in from Southern California, withdrawn from here. But we got Campanelli, a filly that I think most would be very familiar with, Gabby. Impressive winner on debut and winner of the Queen Mary Group 2 Company at Royal Ascot.
And the Prix Mornay at Deauville as well. So she is just a filly that was in such good form last year. I was very curious to see Wesley Ward stretch her out in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies turf. Even when you look at her, she just looks like more of a sprinter. And she just couldn't go that far. She chased the speed of Aunt Pearl. She wound up finishing 4th in there, but this seems like a really good spot for her return, Scott.
It is, and that's why I have her on top. But I think that she is the class of this field. It's a nice field, but her first 3 races are just clearly better than the rest of this group. The way that she won at Gulfstream, the international campaign that she had between England and France, picking up a Group 2 and a Group 1. You mentioned it. It was a little bit too far for her in the Breeders' Cup race, but they cut her back. And, he was in a spot there, Wesley was. He's got Golden Pal. You're going to try to tackle him in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf Sprint. So I'm imagining that's part of the motivation in which they went in this direction. But Stone Street Stables, Barbara Banke, they have a very nice filly on their hands. And let's go back to Royal Ascot as the Stone Street Silks got back into the winner's enclosure with the success that they've had in the past. Lady Aurelia, obviously the flag bearer for them and her multiple stakes victories at Royal Ascot. But down in the center of the course, to win from there is impressive because the trend was to the near side, closer to the grandstand, but she hung in there, ears pinned back. There's just something about the Wesley Ward runners in the Stone Street Silks coming straight at you at Royal Ascot with the WW on the blinkers that just looks so wicked to me. And she was fabulous. A great performance from her. I like her on top, and then I'll go 6-7 underneath. New Boss, a filly that, look at the fraction she ran in her last couple of races. To slow it down and be as quick as she is a quality filly. And then the 7-horse as well, Toby's Heart for Brian Lynch. You got to respect her on the cutback.
Okay, I like Campanelli. I get it. She'll probably win today. She might win by 2. She might win by 3. But you're not going to make any money, especially with the scratch of the 11. So my alternative is the 7, Toby's Heart. I know a horse that you like in here as well. We'll take you back to a race 2 starts back. This was at Saratoga and the Bolton Landing, and she just ran so well this day. She doesn't get out of the gate very well, which can be a concern in a turf sprint. But she's so talented that she can overcome that. And this is her winning at Saratoga last summer. She's been effective on a firm course, a good turf course. And then unfortunately last time out, I just thought it was way too tough of a race. It was too much to ask of her to come off of the layoff, to stretch her out to the mile and a 16th. She was going against Spanish Love Affair. That just didn't seem like the right spot for her, but she probably got something out of it in terms of fitness, and now she turns back to the appropriate distance. So she's really the only other horse in here that I can make a case for to try to upset Campanelli. And then I'll also use the 3 Karimba, the other one of Wesley Ward's, who the blinkers come off today, but she's very, very fast. So I just think that Wesley Ward has 2 nice horses in here.
Let's go on to our key races. I'm going to start with race number 2 on the card, which will begin the early pick 4 maiden special weight group, fillies and mares going a mile on the main track and a field of 7, which means this will be the first opportunity today, keep in mind, to play the Toyota Super High 5 jackpot carryover of over $69,000. Race number 2 with a field of 7 has to be a field of 7 for that wager to be in play. I like the 7 in here over the 6 and 2. The 7 may be later for Michelle Level and Adam Beschizza. She debuted against a very good filly. Euphoric has really come on for Bernie Flint. She's a name that I think you're going to be hearing from in the not-too-distant future. I would imagine probably during Derby weekend in a race like the 8 Bells. She is of that quality, and that was a race in which she really broke out back on February 13th. But then she follows it up, and she didn't break well in that debut, but she follows it up with a route race, gets better position with Adam Beschizza. One thing to keep an eye on, you read the comment line, she was hard to load that afternoon, so I would imagine that Michelle Level's done some work with her in the mornings to get her ready for this test. But I think that this effort is good enough to handle this group here today. I really think that maybe later is a filly that can take a step forward in this spot for Jerry Romans Jr. and a filly by Not This Time, part of that wonderful crop, first crop of Not This Times that have been doing so well. So 7, 6, and 2, my first key race analysis here on this Friday afternoon, as you'll move a couple races forward to race number 6, Gabby.
That's right, Scott. And this race is a 2 other than allowance optional claiming event, a mile and a 16th on the main track. We do have 1 scratch of the 3 in here, so it makes it a 5-horse field. And why I brought this up is because Spice is Nice is a filly that has been highly regarded from the get-go, and this is a race that could make or break, or be a game changer, I should say, in the early or in the pick 5 sequence, because this is the first race that kicks off the late pick 5. I think a lot of people will be singling her because it doesn't get much easier in the subsequent races. But Spice is Nice will take you back to her race 2 starts back. This was at Belmont. And her first race coming in off the freshening, they gave her time after the Grade 2 Gulfstream Park Oaks. She came back after about a 3.5, 4-month layoff, and she won. She just, to me, looks like a filly that's really good, fresh. When you look at her races, her 3 best races on form was this race, first time out, and her second start. Now, she did put in 2 subpar performances. One of them was in the Gulfstream Park Oaks, and one of them was in the Grade 1 Alabama. She looks like an extremely talented filly, Scott, but it looks like they've had a really tough time with keeping her going in the afternoon. So I'm looking forward to seeing what she can do today. In this compact field, she's got enough natural speed. I think she should be able to sit off the speed of perhaps the 2-stop War. But Spice is Nice. She comes from that very nice family, Dame Dorothy, bred by Bobby Flay, owned by the Lowe's, and she just looks like a horse that many people will be leaning on in the late pick 5.
You're going to see some nice runners today, and she looks like she's going to be one of them that we'll be talking about tomorrow on the show. Let's jump into our Clocker reports and open up your programs, your past performances, and go to race number 3, El Kabong, the number 4 horse in there for Rusty Arnold and the Ashbrook Farm with Luis Saez in the saddle. Debut not bad considering he ran loose pre-race. Yes, that's the case, and I agree with that. Trainer 16%, second time out, worked 5/8 in a minute, 3 2/5, 9th best of 10. And then in race number 4, Ollie's Gold, a Wesley Ward runner for Woods Edge Farm, and Irad will be in the saddle. Looks fit enough. Check out trainer stats when debuting for a tag. Yet 42%. Wesley's good in most situations, but that is a ridiculous number. So race 3, El Kabong, and then race number 4, the 4, Ollie's Gold. So 4s in races 3 and 4, the focus for the Clocker Report. Let's talk about late pick 5, late pick 4. They're going to be challenging sequences. They're going to be rewarding sequences, though, at the end of the day, Gabby. The late pick 4 guaranteed at $200,000, presented by TVG, and you're going to spend $36 to tackle this late pick 4.
I think you need to. It's not easy. I couldn't find a single today. Race 7 is the TVG Limestone Turf Sprint. Of course, I have to use Campanelli. She is the speed. And then also my top pick, the 7, Toby's Heart, as well as Wesley's other horse. I go down to just 2 horses in the 8th race, an allowance race, the 3 and the 5. Aloha West is my best angle. Talk more about that. Spreading with 4 horses and the Grade 1 Makers Mark Mile. And then finally the 129 in the finale for $36.
I'm going to spend some cash today, Gabby. $72
What?
is my
Perfect
ticket.
horse?
This is a big boy ticket. I'm hitting the all button in the TVG Limestone Turf Sprint Stakes, turning it into a late pick 3. And then in race number 8, I'll go 2 deep with the 2 and 3. Godzilla, I think, is the speed of the race and blitzes him from the inside draw. Aloha West, though, you've got to respect, coming up from Oaklawn Park for Eclipse Thoroughbred Partners and Wayne Catalano. In race number 9, 2, 5, and 9. If I add Raging Bull, then it's going to be probably unplayable for most. But if you want to throw Raging Bull in there, that would be the suggestion, the 8 in race number 9. And then in the finale, 2, 4, and 9. I think that each of these horses has every right to show up in there, including Fine Cotton for Neil Pessin, the first-time starter that Lothenbach Stables paid $450,000 for at the Keeneland September sale in 2019. Pessin's a good first-out trainer. He's 11%, good ROI, so that's the ticket. And if it comes through,
What if Campanelli wins at even money?
then it's pointless, right? But then, but if we get past Raging Bull, then, but I love Campanelli, I do. But every one of those fillies, there's a case to be made in the TVG Limestone.
I get it.
All
Okay,
right, let's move
go.
on. Race 8.
Race 8, 6.5 furlongs on the main track. This is a first-level allowance race, and I'm going to be honing in on the number 3, Aloha West, 7-2, Florent Giroux aboard for trainer Wayne Catalano. We'll show you his last race, take you back to the start. You can see in the short comment it says pinched badly start. So we'll show you. He was. I think the head-on is more significant than the pan angle because this horse completely loses his position early. His head goes up. He's climbing. He just doesn't look like he's really taking to the track that day. Still here. He's running very awkwardly, and I think it's because he's getting a lot of kickback in his face. He's down on the inside. He was put in a very different position than where he was in his first start. So, to be honest, I think the start really compromised him. He's a horse that needs to get out of the gate, but I think as talent, we're going to see him come back to a performance similar to his first race. So that's my best angle of the day. I think you can key him on top in an exacta over the 1, 2, 5, and the 6.
I'll stay in race number 8. I like Godzilla for what I mentioned in the quick discussion in the late pick 4. I think that he's a horse that is sitting on a better race coming second off the layoff out of the Mark Casse barn. Let's go back to his last race at Aqueduct. They ran fast, and he was part of that pace. I mean, 110 and 2, the half was 45 and 4. He's down on the inside, and he hangs in there as long as he possibly can. But this is a colt that we've seen run very fast times in the past. I mean, his debut, when you can run 109 and 3 at Saratoga, you're good. But coming now a month and a half removed from this race, I think that he'll move forward off of it for trainer Mark Casse, and we talk about it all the time. How do you win from the rail? You go. And that has to be the plan for Tyler Gaffalione. Come catch me. He will outbreak the horses just to his outside. And Aloha West, he'll be coming on late, but I think Godzilla is the right one in there. And then playing a double, rolling double for $5 with 1, 2, 5, 8, and 9. So it's a $1 rolling double, 2 with 1, 2, 5, 8, 9 into the Maker's Mark Mile. But we'll see. I think this should be our first legitimate side bet of the meet. What do you think?
What's
20
the
or
side
50?
bet?
Just heads up. Godzilla versus Aloha West.
Okay.
Game on.
I'll take that.
All right.
Because I think there's a lot of speed in this race.
The best thing is, I can run from you. You can't catch me if I don't have to pay the debt.
Yeah, but I can trip you or kick
you. You have to kind of stutter step, limp towards me with that boot on.
This thing's heavy.
Let's go to Tom Leach's long shot pick of the day. He's going to take us to race number 7 in the TVG Limestone Turf Sprint. He likes Navratilova, the daughter of Medaglia d'Oro out of the stakes winner Center Court. comes off of a 6-month layoff. She was a debut winner at Ellis Park back in late August, came back and tackled a tough group in the J.P. Morgan Chase Jessamine back in October, which produced Aunt Pearl and Spanish Love Affair, such a productive race. But Navratilova, he's going to lean on that one in the TVG Limestone Sprint.
So you're hoping that Tom Leach is right in race 7?
Yeah, I am.
Come
well,
on.
in part.
Yeah, I'm for that. I'll be for that. You know what? I'm selfless. So if Tom Leach's long shot of the day can win and you still stay alive with a 25-30 to 1 shot in the pick 4, I'm okay with that.
And it's a tough position to be in because I truly do love Campanelli. You know how much I love Royal Ascot and Stone Street and Wesley Ward. I do. I love her. But I think that today maybe they can tackle her in this TVG Limestone Turf Sprint. Or maybe she just does what she's always done when sprinting and just crushes them here in this return to sprinting today. But this is a great card. We urge you to play with us at home. If you're joining us from home on Keeneland.com or perhaps through the Keeneland Race Day app or the various outlets in which you can watch racing here from TV or from Keeneland, TVG being one of the outlets in which you can watch each and every day. But Gabby, these are the types of days that we look forward to.
Today is a tremendous card, and even this weekend, Scott, we're getting ready. We're getting closer and closer to the first Saturday of May, so I know a lot of eyes will be on the Lexington tomorrow, the Arkansas Derby. We're running out of prep races for the Kentucky Derby, so it's a big weekend regardless right here at Keeneland. Enjoy the weather, enjoy the racing, and if you're coming out on track or if you're staying at home, enjoy some Maker's Mark. It's Maker's Mark Mile Day, 25th running of this great Grade 1. The paddock bar is in full swing here at Keeneland Racecourse. If you're lucky enough to come out here and join us, make sure you take advantage of that. For Gabby Gaudette and the entire team here at Today at Keeneland, I'm Scott Hazelton. Enjoy it. It's a big day of racing coming your way just past 1 o'clock.
Start your journey in a new Toyota. Where you end up is up to you. With 14 different all-wheel drive Toyotas to choose from, the possibilities are endless. Head to the trails in a Prius. Find a fishing hole with RAV4. Just have fun in a Tacoma. Hit the slopes in the family-size Highlander. Or get a grip on the road in the all-wheel drive Camry. All come with the traction you need for confident driving. Any road, any weather. Your adventure, your Toyota. Toyota, let's go places.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Keeneland Racecourse. At this time, we ask that you would please rise in tribute to our national anthem. Keeneland is proud to recognize Chris Mullins from Concessions as the Employee of the Day. Chris, congratulations.
In the event of an emergency, Keeneland is dedicated to ensuring the safety of our patrons. This video illustrates the proper evacuation protocol from all locations in the Keeneland Grandstand facility. Depending on the nature of the emergency, directions may be altered. Please remain calm and follow the direction of guest services and security personnel. Patrons should never use elevators during an evacuation. Patrons in the corporate boxes, Eclipse Room, and Phoenix Room should exit using the stairway located near Elevator A. Proceed down the stairs to the ground floor and veer right to exit through the lower club entrance. Patrons in the Lafayette Room, Keeneland Room, Lexington Room, and Kentucky Room should exit using the stairway located near Elevator B. Proceed down the stairs to the ground floor and exit through the paddock area using the East Gate. Patrons in the third floor main clubhouse and clubhouse paddock dining rooms should exit using the stairway located near Elevator A. Proceed down the stairs to the ground floor and veer right to exit through the lower club entrance. Patrons in the Bluegrass Room and third floor ITW area should exit using the stairway located near Elevator B. Proceed down the stairs to the ground floor and exit through the paddock area using the East Gate. Patrons in the Finish Line Room and Green Room should exit using the stairway leading to the North Terrace. Proceed down the stairs to the second level and through the doors outside. Proceed down the stairs to the ground level and exit through the North Gate. Patrons in the outside reserved grandstand seats and boxes should proceed down the nearest stairway to the ground level. Proceed under the grandstand towards the paddock area and exit via the nearest point of exit, the South Gate or the East Gate. Patrons in the second floor main clubhouse dining room and life members room should exit using the stairway on the south side of the administrative offices. Proceed down the stairs to the ground floor and exit through the South Gate. Patrons in the second floor clubhouse paddock dining room and clubhouse tavern should exit using the stairway located near Elevator A. Proceed down the stairs to the ground floor and veer right to exit through the lower club entrance. Patrons in the mezzanine bar and second floor ITW area should exit using the stairway located near Elevator B. Proceed down the stairs to the ground floor and exit through the paddock area using the East Gate. Patrons in the sports bar and cantina should exit through the doors leading to the North Terrace. Proceed down the stairs to the ground level and exit through the North Gate. Patrons in the lower club, clubhouse lawn, club lobby, and director's room should proceed toward the clubhouse parking lot using the nearest point of exit. Patrons in the gift shop should proceed toward the South Gate using the nearest point of exit. Patrons in the apron area should proceed under the grandstand towards the paddock area and exit via the nearest point of exit, the South Gate or the East Gate. Patrons in the equestrian room and first floor Brats and Brew should proceed towards the North Terrace and exit through the North Gate. Patrons in the paddock area and North Terrace should proceed toward the nearest point of exit, the South Gate, East Gate, or North Gate. After evacuating the facility, Please remain calm and follow the direction of guest services and security personnel in the safest route to return to your vehicle. Thank you for your attention and cooperation.
And they're off. There goes Stylish Rags out running fast from the outside for the lead. Eagle Eye to the far outside. Artie's Rose down to the inside. And Destinique moving up close into third as they head up the backstretch. Stylish Rags outward from the rail. Leads it by just a neck. Here's Artie's Rose up the inside to challenge for the lead. At a gap of 2 lengths, Destinique goes third by just a neck. Eagle Eye fourth up on the outside. A gap of 3 back to Red Pepper Grill. Margin of 7 more back of that one to Hellcat Warrior, who's last. 22.76 seconds. The time for the opening quarter. Artie's Rose pokes ahead in front, moving on to the far turn. Stylish Rags right alongside. They go at it for the lead. A 2-length margin to Destinique. 3 more then back to Eagle Eye, who's lost some ground around the turn in fourth. Red Pepper Grill moves up from fifth inside of that one. Hellcat Warrior still far back in last as they turn for home. Here comes Destinique now to the far outside, top of the stretch, to draw alongside of Stylish Rags. Those two go side by side off the far turn for the lead. They have gotten away by 3 lengths, 4 lengths clear of Artie's Rose back in third. Red Pepper Grill is in fourth. Lead battle continues inside the final furlong. Stylish Rags short lead to the inside. Destinique fighting on but second. A length separate the top two. 16th pole. Now 2 lengths between them. Stylish Rags in front for Irad Ortiz Jr. and Stylish Rags will win the opener at Keeneland. Destinique second. Red Pepper Grill third. And then Artie's Rose in fourth. In the winner's circle for Keeneland's first race, 6 Stylish Rags, owned by the Marybelle stable of John Moores and Charles Knoll, trained by Wesley Ward, Irad Ortiz Jr., the jockey. Stylish Rags, a 3-year-old. Keeneland's second race upcoming, double and pick 3 wagering, start of the early pick 4, carryover for. And they're off. Twilight Gleaming was off a step slowly, and so was Smile at the Storm. She's Got Attitude comes out for the lead quickly, puts ahead in front of the opening strides, now leads it by 3/4 of a length as they move around the far turn. Action Potential to the inside second. Murgatroyd third. Twilight Gleaming has picked up 3 positions already, moves up into fourth, toward the outside, but still 6 lengths off the lead. And then comes Pout fifth in between horses. Another Flat Drunk is 6th down toward the inside. And then Burrow down next to last. Smile at the Storm is last. Twilight Gleaming going to swing wide to the far outside at the 8th pole to come after She's Got Attitude, who's got a short lead to the inside. Twilight Gleaming tries to draw alongside of the final furlong. And it is still She's Got Attitude fending off the challenge of Twilight Gleaming. She's Got Attitude wins it for James Graham. Twilight Gleaming was home second. Another Flat Drunk and Burrow down coming up. In the winner's circle, Keeneland's second race, the Elm Tree 6, She's Got Attitude, owned by Ken Donworth and John Ennis, trained by John Ennis. The jockey is James Graham. She's Got Attitude, a 2-year-old filly by Tisnow. Keeneland's third race upcoming. A reminder, race 3 will finish in the short stretch at the first wire. Main track is listed fast, turf listed firm. Carryover for the Toyota. They're off. There goes Surf and Turf for the lead. Grand has speed out toward the outside. Those two come to the front. A Fleet Moment comes away third. There's Algebraic moving forward, center of the track, from fourth to third to second to try to draw alongside the early leader, Grand, who's against the rail ahead in front. Algebraic right alongside in second by 2.5 lengths. And there goes Last Chance at Glory, scooting up around the outside into third, trying to catch up with that front pair as they hit the backstretch. That's going to shuffle Surf and Turf back into fourth, flanked by Frank and Jimmy in fifth. The Fleet Moment sixth, long way back, another 8 lengths to Chuckles Candy, who's last. 22.6 seconds, the time for the opening quarter. It is Algebraic toward the outside and Grand toward the inside. That's the battle for the lead. Matching strides up the backstretch. Gap of 3. Last Chance at Glory has backed away into that third position for now, 3/4 of a length. Surf and Turf is fourth to the inside. Frank and Jimmy back toward the outside. And then a Fleet Moment and still a long way back to Chuckles Candy, who trails the field. Opening half mile, 46.75 seconds. Over to the far turn. Algebraic on the outside again, trying to poke ahead in front. And Grand right there to the inside. But it is Algebraic who now has the lead by 3/4 of a length. Here's Last Chance at Glory, swinging toward the outside from third, up to challenge for second, 2 lengths off the leader. Surf and Turf, top of the short stretch, is in fourth, 5 lengths from the lead, being asked for more, going out to the center of the track. Algebraic leads it a length off the far turn. Last Chance at Glory starts to draw alongside as they come toward the final furlong. And here's Last Chance at Glory now to run by and take the lead from Algebraic, who's now second to the inside. Surf and Turf is in third. Last Chance at Glory in front for Rafael Bejarano. Last Chance at Glory to win it. Surf and Turf second, Algebraic third. Further back, Frank and Jimmy was up for the fourth position, and Grand was fifth. In the winner's circle for Keeneland's third race, 7 Last Chance at Glory, owned by the JMS stable of Samantha Siegel, trained by Paul McGee, Raphael. And they're off. Radiant Rhythm broke alertly, comes right out for the lead from the outside. Now here comes Diva Banker down toward the inside. Miss Pinkerton up close in between that pair as well. Diva Banker up the rail has the lead, though, has it by a half length. Miss Pinkerton second between horses, a half length, and Radiant Rhythm third to the far outside. Then a break of 4 more lengths back to Isabel's Joy, center of the track, in fourth. My Dark Secret is against the rail in the fifth position. Trickazar sixth. Patty is seventh and last. 22.75 seconds the time for the opening quarter. Miss Pinkerton between horses puts ahead in front. Diva Banker to the inside. Radiant Rhythm right there to the outside. Half length separates the top 3 around the far turn. Isabel's Joy is fourth and running 4 lengths off the lead. Break of nearly 3 more then. Back to Trickazar. My Dark Secret against the rail. And Patty is last. Radiant Rhythm, Miss Pinkerton going at it for the lead. A quarter mile to come. They turn for home. Radiant Rhythm from the outside has the lead now. Tries to get clear, leads it by almost a length. Miss Pinkerton fights on but second, and Trickazar is trying to pick up the front pair. Trickazar outside, third to second, past the 8th pole, coming after Radiant Rhythm. Trickazar on the outside at the 16th pole. Trickazar alongside of Radiant Rhythm, who's still fighting gamely to the inside. Radiant Rhythm, Trickazar, these two at the line. Photo for the win. It will either be Radiant Rhythm or Trickazar for the top spot. In the winner's circle for Keeneland's fourth race, 8 Radiant Rhythm, owned by Andrew Jansen, trained by Doug Danner, Tyler Gaffalione, the jockey. Radiant Rhythm, a 7-year-old mare by Al. Keeneland's fifth race, and they're off. There goes Copa outrunning for the early lead. Here's Torrin down toward the inside, moving up with speed as well. Paul Y is away running in the third position as they make the move up the back stretch. Then the Beat, who's fourth up on the outside. Break of 2 more lengths. The Predicament was off a step slowly. It is fifth now, working down toward the inside. Scabbard is sixth alongside of that one. Rye Humor is in the seventh position, and One Nation moves by 1 spot from last into seventh now as they head for the far turn. Copa got the opening quarter in 22.61 seconds. Torin is second in between horses, and Paul Y is third up to the far outside onto the far turn, a length and a half off the lead. A break of 3 more lengths then, back to the Predicament, who's fourth by a neck just to the inside of Scabbard, who is fifth between horses. Then the Beat, One Nation, and Rye Humor is last as they come for the top of the stretch. Paul Y tries to draw alongside of Copa. That's the battle for the lead at the top of the stretch. They're matching strides. Torin looks to the far outside in third, but has lost some ground off the turn. 5 lengths from the lead. Scabbard is alongside that one, still far back and fourth at this point, and then comes the Beat out in the center of the racetrack. Copa, the leader. Paul Y, the closest threat at this point. Late run from Rye Humor down to the inside, and then the Beat toward the far outside. It is Copa still in front, though, by 2. Copa chased by Paul Y. Copa wins it for Luis Saez. Paul Y got second, and then came the Beat rallying up for third around the outside of Rye Humor. Circle for Keeneland's fifth race, number 7, Copa, owned by the Jackpot Farm of Terry Green, trained by Dallas Stewart, the jockey Luis Saez. Copa, 3-year-old gelded son of Liam's Map, out of point class by Arch, bred in Kentucky. And they're off. There's Charger from between horses. Alexander Valley up close in the opening strides as well. Avenue quickly gets over toward the inside. And here comes American Diamond with Golden Spoke toward the outside. American Diamond moving forward for Chris Landeros. American Diamond to challenge Charger for the lead. Charger there down toward the rail. Golden Spoke goes third. Avenue is fourth. Will save some ground around the first turn. Flanked by Alexander Valley in fifth. Freddie Flincher is sixth. Performing Arts goes in the seventh position. Paquina back toward the inside is eighth. Southern District alongside that one is ninth. Break of 2 more lengths then. Back to Sailor's Return in the 10th position. Wamigo last of the 11, 23.1 seconds the time for the opening quarter. Charger is the leader onto the backstretch, only by a neck. American Diamond right there to the outside, second, a length and a half. Avenue third to the inside by just a head. Golden Spoke alongside that one in fourth. Alexander Valley slides over next to the rail in fifth and is running 4 lengths off the lead. Performing Arts is sixth up on the outside. Freddie Flincher, then Southern District on the outside, who's 8 lengths from the front to the far turn. Baquina, Sailor's Return, Wamigo at the back. The first half mile went in 48.86 seconds. It is Charger with the lead. American Diamond draws alongside again, though. Top 2 on even terms, midway on the far turn. Avenue looks for running room for third. Performing Arts swings toward the outside in fourth. Within 3 lengths of the lead, Golden Spoke is next. And then Freddie Flincher down to the inside, 5 from the front. Alexander Valley behind horses, 6 from the lead. Southern District, 8 lengths from the front, has to go to the far outside. It is Charger with the lead. American Diamond and Avenue stack up toward the outside. Then Alexander Valley, Southern District, Performing Arts out in the center of the course. Avenue has gone to the lead. Avenue, the leader. Baquina runs late toward the rail, but Avenue's long gone with the lead. Avenue, Luis Saez to win it. Freddie Flincher second. Alexander Valley was third. A multiple horse photo to separate. In the winner's circle for Keeneland's 6th race, the Mineola 5 Avenue, owned by Robert LaPinta, Eclipse Thoroughbred Partners of Aaron Wellman, owned also by William Freeman and Michael Valdez, trained by Todd. And they're off. There goes Kinetic Sky from the inside. Plowman being hustled up now from between horses to put ahead in front. And Warrior in Chief goes third. Plowman outward from the rail. Narrow lead. Kinetic Sky right there to the inside, though. And Kinetic Sky will save the ground around the first turn. Moves up down toward the inside. Plowman, though, going to move on by and clear with the lead. Plowman shoots to the front, scoots over next to the rail. Leads it by 2.5 lengths. Kinetic Sky second, a length and a half. Warrior in Chief goes third. Promise Keeper hugs the rail in fourth. Core Values in fifth. The break of 6 more back to Good Culture, who is sixth and last. 23.22 seconds, the time for the opening quarter. Plowman, the leader. Plowman, 3-length lead up the back stretch. Kinetic Sky second, a length and a half to Warrior in Chief, who's third, a half length. Promise Keeper moves up a closer fourth, down toward the inside, and then comes Core Values Good Culture at the back. Opening half-mile went in 47.39 seconds. Plowman the leader, Kinetic Sky a half length away, and now here comes Warrior in Chief to join that front pair. 3 of them stacked across the track, separated by a neck to the far turn. Kinetic Sky between horses has the lead a neck, and now Warrior in Chief tries to draw alongside of that one. Plowman drops back. Promise Keeper circles up around the outside of that one, takes over third, and draws within a length and a half of the front pair. Kinetic Sky comes toward the quarter pole, a neck in front. Here's Warrior in Chief right alongside now, and then Promise Keeper third, a length off the front duo. Top of the stretch, a margin of 8 lengths to the rest. Good Culture is far back in that 4th position. Here's Promise Keeper swinging to the outside off the far turn to take the lead. Coming to the 8th pole, opens up by a couple of lengths here. It is Promise Keeper in front by 3. Kinetic Sky is second, a length and a half. Warrior in Chief third, gap of 6 more. Good Culture is 4th. Promise Keeper moving on by the 16th pole and toward the wire. Promise Keeper, Luis Saez will rack up his 3rd win on the card. It's all Promise Keeper. Kinetic Sky was home second. Good Culture did get up in time for 3rd, and then Warrior in Chief was across the line in 4th. Promise Keeper, owned by Woodford Thoroughbreds LLC of John Sykes, owned by the Windstar Farm LLC of Kenny Trout, owned also by Rock Ridge Racing LLC of Cody Guffey. Todd Pletcher, the winning trainer. Luis Saez, the winning jockey. Keeneland's 8th and featured race upcoming. And they're off. On a spree toward the inside with J.W. Ruckus. Now, here comes Fighting CB, and there goes Invader. Invader clears the inside traffic, goes to the lead, angles down toward the rail, 2 lengths to the good as they head to the first turn. Silence goes second up on the outside. Fighting CB tucked away neatly against the rail in the 3rd position. OCN Atlantique is 4th up on the outside, 4 lengths off the early lead. J.W. Ruckus 5th against the rail. Opry 6th on the outside of that one, gap of 2 more. Baker's Bay travels in 7th. Street Ready is 8th. Duke of Carthania is in 9th. On a spree, broke well, but now drops out to the back and is joined there as they head up the back stretch by Stage Ready, who's placed toward the outside. 22.42 seconds the time for the opening quarter. Invader leads it by a length and a half. Silenced is second by 3/4 of a length. Fighting CB third to the inside, 3/4 of a length. OCN Atlantique 4th up on the outside. 47.67 seconds for the opening half mile. J.W. Ruckus 5th toward the inside. Opry 6th toward the outside. Baker's Bay is 7th in behind horses, 6 lengths off the lead. On to the far turn they go. Invader leads it by just over a length. Silenced is second, a half length. Fighting CB is still right there toward the rail, but still in 3rd position. OCN Atlantique is 4th toward the outside, still 6 from the front. J.W. Ruckus, then Baker's Bay and Opry, who's 8 from the lead on the far outside. Here is Silenced coming forward for Invader. And here comes OCN Atlantique. Fighting CB looks for room toward the inside. Invader has been very game. Fighting CB right there. OCN Atlantique and Silenced is there. What a finish. Fighting CB trying to hang tough. Fighting CB. Brian Hernandez Jr., when they found the opening against the rail, moved up, took the lead, and fought off the challenges. Center circle for Keeneland's featured 8th race, the Clarkland Farm 7, Fighting CB. Owned by Walking L Thoroughbreds LLC of Scott Leeds, trained by Kenny McPeak. Brian Hernandez Jr., the jockey. Fighting CB. And they're off. There goes El Casadora out for the lead, and here comes Cornbread Hill kicking in down toward the inside. Martin Pedroza hustles up the rail with Cornbread Hill to take the lead up the backstretch by a length and a half. Scramble is on for second. Perspective, 1 lane off the rail, second ahead. Gunnar Paul, third, moving up now to challenge for second down toward the inside. That pair moving up to the inside of Cornbread Hill, who stays wide off the rail to the far turn but still has a narrow lead. And they are joined by No Angel in fourth, 3 wide, moving up third, a length and a half off the leader. Then Quality Warrior, who's also wide but in the 5th position. Then a break of 8 more lengths back to the 3 trailers. El Casadora, who lost ground around the far turn, followed by Veil of Honor and Giradoro at the back. Cornbread Hill, the leader, though, to the top of the stretch, has a 2-length lead. Perspective is there toward the inside in second, now starts to look toward the outside, moves up between horses, still 2 lengths off the lead. Cornbread Hill in front at the 8th pole by 2. Perspective is second by a length, and now No Angel tries to go to work from third on the outside. Final furlong, though, for Cornbread Hill, who has a 5-length lead at the 16th pole. Back to No Angel Keeneland perspective. Cornbread Hill in front, No Angel to second. Cornbread Hill, Martin Pedrosa is back. Cornbread Hill wins the nightcap. In the winner's circle for Keeneland's ninth and final race, won Cornbread Hill. Owned and bred in Kentucky by Kenneth and Sarah Ramsey, Wesley Ward, the trainer, Martin Pedrosa, the winning jockey. Cornbread Hill, the 4-year-old gelded son of Hardspun, out of Dean and Allen's Kitten by Kitten's Joy, bred in Kentucky by the Ramseys, 6 furlongs, 1 minute 10.4 seconds in race 9. Results are official. Good afternoon. Welcome to Keeneland Racecourse, where the main track is fast, turf listed good. Rail is down today for the turf racing. Time now for a look at the program changes beginning in the first race. Race 1 starts the first of the day's rolling doubles and pick threes, kicks off the early pick 5 as well. In the opener, scratch number 6, Epicurean. Scratch the 6, Epicurean. As a result of that scratch, no super high 5 wager on the first race. Race 2 starts the early pick 4. Carryover in that second race for the Toyota Jackpot Super High 5, $69,468. No changes in race 2. Third race, scratch the 7, Temple City Boulevard. That's the third race, scratch the 7, Temple City Boulevard. Fourth race, take out the 13, Granite Candy did not draw into the race. Fifth race is where the pick 6 begins. There's no carryover for the pick 6. In that fifth event, scratch part of entry 1A, American West. Scratch the 5, Flying Aletha. And scratch 13, Ms. Wicked. Again, scratch part of entry 1A, American West. Scratch 5, Flying Aletha. Scratch 13, Ms. Wicked. Please note, part of entry 2B, Lazy Summer Day, draws into the race. Overweight of +1. Additional overweight, the 8, Goat to Go. The Jockey, 1 pound over. Sixth race is where the late pick 5 begins. Scratch the 3, Prescience. Scratch the 3, Prescience. As a result of that scratch, no superfecta wager on the sixth event. Race 7 starts the $200,000 guaranteed pick 4 presented by TVG. And in that seventh race, scratch the 2, Threat Level Midnight, scratch 3, Karimba, scratch 5, Igloo, and scratch 11, Nimbo Stratus. Again, scratch the 2, Threat Level Midnight, scratch 3, Karimba, scratch 5, Igloo, and scratch 11, Nimbo Stratus. Eighth race has no changes at this time. Race 9, the featured Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile, has no changes. 10th and final race, scratch number 8, In a Dream. Scratch number 8, In a Dream. Those are the current program changes. Time now to check in with Scott Hazelton and Gabby Gaudette.
Very happy Friday to you, Kurt Becker, as well as all of you joining us here at Keeneland Racecourse. And for those of you joining us at home, Gabby, we've got a big card ahead of us, highlighted by the 25th running of the Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile.
And this year's edition of the race is truly incredible. We have the return of Raging Bull, who was last seen competing in the Breeders' Cup last year, but he's going to have to deliver his A game, Scott, because there are a couple of horses that might have improved in the time between.
Yeah, let's take a look at this field, the Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile. You've got a California Invader, Hit the Road, who's the number 2 horse, who's coming in off of 4 consecutive victories, including a Grade 1 victory in the Kilroe Mile at Santa Anita. He has to be respected. You've got Sacred Life, who's 4-1, 1 of 2 for trainer Chad Brown. Da Rain, a horse that both you and I like, who looks like a horse that is ready for this test here today as he steps up in class. But the morning line favorite is Raging Bull, a horse that we've seen plenty of over the last couple of seasons.
Even the 1 gets smoking towards the inside. He comes in off an impressive victory in the Grade 3 Tampa Bay. The 3, Some Like It Hot Brown, he's run really fast races before in the past. So there is a lot going on in this race, Scott.
That is the Grade 1 feature of the afternoon. Back it up to race number 7, the second stakes race on the card. It is the TVG Limestone Turf Sprint, and this race for straight 3-year-old fillies. A couple of scratches in here and key ones at that. The 2, the 3, the 5 out. Also Nimbo Stratus, the 11 horse withdrawn. Campanelli, the international superstar, is the 8-5 morning line favorite.
I think some people might be leaning on her in the late pick 4. It's either that, or if you don't trust her, then you have to use a lot of horses in here. Toby's Heart cuts back to sprinting today for trainer Brian Lynch. She looks interesting, as well as the 10 Alda. She comes in for trainer Graham Motion. She has been proven sprinting, going a distance of ground. She looks like she's got some talent, but they're all going to have to beat Campanelli if she delivers her best.
This 7th race, the TVG Limestone Turf Sprint Stakes, starts the $200,000 guaranteed late pick 4, 50-cent minimum wager. And it also is presented by TVG. It's going to be a fantastic sequence and a challenging one at that. So make sure you take advantage of playing these multi-race exotics. And also don't forget about the Toyota Super High Five Jackpot, which the pool is up to now $69,468. Available. First opportunity is race number 2. Has to have at least 7 runners for the Toyota Super High Five Jackpot carryover to be in play. If you're the single ticket, you get the entire pool. So take a swing starting in race number 2. We're 20 minutes away from the start of a big day here at Keeneland Racecourse, one we look forward to each and every year. It's Grade 1 Maker's Mark Mile Day here in Central Kentucky. As we take a look into the paddock for race number 1, this race does start the early pick 5 and a field of 6. Headlined right now by the one predetermined for Ben Colebrook, who's had quite a start to the meet here at Keeneland Racecourse. I'm going to go to Payo Princess, the number 2 horse, is my top selection. Jimmy Graham for Tom Amos. They've been quite a team here over the last several years. And this is a filly by Cairo Prince, who comes out of maiden special weight races at Delta Downs and Sam Houston. The drop down in class is considerable, and even with the move to Keeneland, I do view this as a drop down in class. She was the beaten favorite in those 2 races at Delta, just simply couldn't hang last time out at Sam Houston when she ran into a next out winner. So I expect her to have put together the best effort of her career thus far, and the one-turn setup is certainly should be to her liking, as her best race came one turning at Delta Downs going 5/8 a mile. So 3-1 on Payo Princess, the top play. Then predetermined the 1. There's Ben Colebrook saddling this filly by successful appeal. Donnemeyer Farm, the homebred, and she comes in with a series of solid workouts, really picked it up in her last couple out of the starting gate. She's going to have to be good away from the starting gate from this rail post, but as we've talked about and we will continue to talk about, Luis